brothers up there, we understand. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up it's been a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Oh, yes it
So because of the legacy of slavery and segregation, many Negroes lost faith in themselves, and many felt that they were inferior, but then something happened to the Negro. Circumstances made it possible and necessary for them to travel more. The coming of the automobile, the upheavals of 2 world wars, the Great Depression. So his rural plantation background gradually gave way to urban industrial life. Segregation is wrong because it is nothing but a new form of slavery covered up with certain niceties of perfection. Segregation is wrong because it is a system of adultery perpetuated by an illicit intercourse between injustice and immorality. And in Birmingham, Alabama, and all over the South and all over the nation, we are simply saying that we will no longer sell our birthright of freedom for a mess of segregated colors. In a real sense, we are through with segregation now, henceforth, and forevermore.
I have never seen, even in Mississippi and Alabama, mobs as hateful as I have seen here in Chicago. Martin Luther King Jr. in 1966.
Martin Luther King Jr.'s time in the North was motivated by the racism that was often overlooked. The racism in the North was perceived as being less severe, but in reality, the racism and segregation was just as prominent as it was in the South.
King's fight in the North centered around his desire to end poverty and segregation. Black Southerners came to the North in search of better economic opportunities and a safer environment, but instead they faced violent resistance and discrimination. Many African Americans could not buy homes in white communities due to the housing covenants, which is when homeowners would not sell to black home buyers.
African Americans were forced into crowded slums in the south and west sides of Chicago, and King saw this injustice and wanted to create change. King said that we found ourselves confronted by the hard realities of a social system in many ways more resistant to change than the rural South.
It was often believed that people in the North faced less injustice than the South, However, King's visit to Chicago altered that view for years to come.
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X both desired change for injustices surrounding not only the South, but also the North.
However, they had different ideas on how to bring about this change.
Their differences in approach on how to fix these issues made it difficult for them to see eye to eye. But Malcolm X and his revolutionary ideas made him the powerful leader that the North needed.
A minister and human rights activist,
who often went on the other side of Martin Luther King Jr. with his ideals, Black Americans should fight white hostility by any means necessary.
Whose family was terrorized by the KKK, and whose father died under unusual circumstances. It may have been an act of white hostility, but the police deemed it an accident.
He promoted Black empowerment and included the Islam in it.
Malcolm X was a strong and powerful figure who put together and led many strategies and agendas,
resulting in the great outcomes of the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the 1965 Voting Rights Act.
Malcolm X, in June 1964, founded the Organization of Afro-American Unity, which helped identify racism and help African Americans fight for human rights, for unity inside their community.
Malcolm X embraced trying to become a community and to help outline freedom and equality.
On October 11, 1963, at the University of California, Berkeley, Malcolm X gave a speech outlining Black nationalist philosophies in the Nation of Islam.
He saw racial separatism as the best way to help issues with Black Americans.
Malcolm X was a man of faith and cultured in his travels from around the world, but his mind and leadership is what caught the people's attention.
To bring about the complete independence of people of African descent here in the Western Hemisphere and first here in the United States, and bring about the freedom of these people by any means necessary. That's our motto. The purpose of our organization is to start right here in Harlem, which has the largest concentration of people of African descent that exists anywhere on this earth. There are more Africans here in Harlem than exist in any city on the African continent, because that's what you and I are, Africans. The Charter of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights are the principles in which we believe, and that these documents, if put into practice, represent the essence of mankind's hopes and good intentions, desirous that all Afro-American people and organizations should henceforth unite so that the welfare and well-being of our people will be assured. We are resolved to reinforce the common bond of purpose between our people by submerging all of our differences and establishing non-sectarian constructive programs for human rights. We hereby present this charter. Number one, the establishment. The Organization of Afro-American Unity shall include all people of African descent in the Western Hemisphere. In essence, what is it thinking? Instead of you and me running around here seeking allies in our struggle for freedom, in the Irish neighborhood, or the Jewish neighborhood, or the Italian neighborhood, we need to seek some allies among people who look something like we do. And once we get their allies,
and political activist. I was most notable for leading the Black Panther Party, where we created over 60 political support programs.
My name is Fred Hampton. I was the deputy chairman of the Black Panther Party, the Chicago chapter specifically. I founded the Rainbow Coalition, the Anti-Racist Anti-Classist Association. I was repeatedly targeted by the FBI as a radical threat, but no matter how hard they tried to bring me down, I would always say, you can kill a revolutionary, but you can never kill the revolution.
My name is Angela Davis. I was inspired to become a political activist by integrating. I was inspired to become a political activist through my segregated upbringing in Birmingham, Alabama. In the late 60s, I joined the Black Panthers, and I continued my work fighting racism and segregation. From now on, I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept.
The Black Panther Party created first of many support programs.
At times, our hard work for the community was overlooked because we were villainized.
In reality, we were responsible for food banks, medical clinics, sickle cell anemia tests, housing cooperatives, prison busing for families of inmates, and so much more.
We were a part of the change and push that was necessary for civil rights to be taken seriously.
Art. What is it?
Why is it so important?
Especially in the Black community,
Art and activism are both built on exposing the truth.
They go hand in hand.
Art in particular has the power to convey powerful messages across cultural barriers that so often divide us.
it's the universal language.
It touches on all souls and emotions.
In the moments when the screams become too loud, African Americans leave all to the canvas,
To the dance floor.
To the microphone.
to pen and paper.
Maya Angelou was a poet whose words flourished from her tongue as if it was her second nature. Maya Angelou's words touched the hearts of many and inspired many. She was very active in the civil rights movement and was never afraid to speak her mind. The Black Family Pledge.
Because we have forgotten our ancestors, our children no longer bring us honor.
Because we have lost the path our ancestors cleared, kneeling in perilous undergrowth, our children cannot find their way.
Because we have banished the God of our ancestors, our children cannot pray.
Because the old wills of our ancestors have faded beyond our hearing, our children cannot hear us crying.
Because we have abandoned our wisdom of mothering and fathering, our befuddled children give birth to children they neither want nor understand.
Because we have forgotten how to love, the adversary is within our gates and holds us up to the mirror of the world, shouting, "Regard the loveless."
Therefore, we pledge to bind ourselves to one another, to embrace our lowliest, to keep company with our loneliest, to educate our literate, to feed the starving, to clothe our ragged, to do all good things, knowing that we are more than keepers of our brothers and sisters.
We are our brothers and sisters.
In honor of those who toyed and implored God with golden tongues, and in gratitude to the same God who brought us out of hopeless desolation,
We make this pledge.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun.
black and the stars fill the night. That's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home. All across the river, do you hear freedom calling? Calling me to answer, gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones.
Not 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Between 2014 and 2020, 7,860 people were killed by police in the United States.
Some of these names include Dante Wright, Andre Hill, Manuel Ellis, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Adiana Jefferson, Aura Rosser, Stephen Clark,
Botham Jean, Philando Castile, Elton Sterling, Freddie Gray, and Janisha Bonneville.
These are just a few of the many victims to police brutality in 2020.
As a result, protests broke out all around the nation. Unfortunately, this is a parallel to civil rights protests in the 1960s, showing that there's still a fight for equality is ongoing.
The events of 2020 display how the Black community has been repeatedly targeted throughout history and how history repeats itself.
In the 1960s, civil rights was a big movement, and now racism isn't perceived to be as bad as it was since the 1960s was so long ago.
Many of your classmates have grandparents who witnessed the civil rights movement firsthand.
Meaning the fight for inequality is not that far in the past and often pushed under the rug or pushed aside.
When in reality, the African American community faces violence, prejudice, stereotypes, microaggressions, and so much more.
Progress still needs to be made. There is still work to be done, and the fight is not over.
Art has evolved beautifully in the African American community now in the 21st century. In 2017, Amanda Gorman wrote a manifesto at Nike's Black History campaign and remains the youngest inaugural female poet.
We are now seeing many artists who are upholding the legacies
of artists who were civil rights activists in the 1960s.
Amanda Gorman has received various awards and scholastic recognition, and the art that she posted.
Amanda Gorman is a renowned poet and author. She has written 3 books for the New York Times and has been asked to perform poems for the Obama White House, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Al Gore, Malala, and many others.
translated to the 21st century through many organizations, but an unsung hero is the UBA.
The Black Panthers centered themselves around advocacy, self-defense, and promoting Black pride. The Union of Black America, or the UBA, was built to promote collective action, pride, and positivity within the Black community. The UBA's mission is to build up a more socially, economically, and politically empowered community. They work in solidarity and they work to actively engage the community.
The Union of Black America's mission is to build up a more economically, socially, and politically empowered Black community by promoting no collective action, pride, and positivity within the community. We work together to create solutions to our most pressing issues with the conviction that we have it within our power to improve our community and future.
Hey, what are you guys doing?
Oh, we're heading to a peaceful protest at the UVA Association.
I invited everyone to come with us. We all need to come out and support. But enough is enough. It's time for change. Well, I want to come. Can I join you guys?
Yeah, grab a poster.
We cannot say this enough. This started as a peaceful protest. The first speakers in the crowd engaged in a spirited, respectful show of unity. When demonstrators got to the Justice Center, a very small group began aggressively engaging police. In fact, there were other protesters who tried to stop them and then found themselves in danger.
Started off peacefully at the Free Stamp in downtown Cleveland, where hundreds of people held signs and chanted, while also raising awareness that racism still exists.
But I brought my kids because they're going to be here longer than I'm here. And I can't think it's still going on. I'm not okay with it. And nobody should be okay with it.
Minutes later, folks started marching toward the Justice Center.
Stuff and throwing stuff at
Spraying pepper spray, shooting tear gas on the floor at the people who were near.
There was rubber bullets that they were shooting.
Bombs, smoke bombs.
As police began firing tear gas into the crowds.
Equality is the answer.
How do you feel during that? It scares me, but
It hurts me. And this is what it has to resolve to.
I can't believe that just happened.
I know, we were just standing there.
All I want is change. All I ever wanted.
When will it end?
The best way to promote understanding is through education and unity.
Change starts with our generation.
Change starts with mercy.
Change starts with you.
We all have to grow together.
Grow together in empathy.
Grow together in compassion.
Grow together in understanding.
We want all diversities to be embraced in mercy.
Embraced in their cultures.
Embraced with kindness.
Embraced in love.
Where everyone can feel comfortable.
Where anyone can succeed.
Where anyone can thrive.
Look around you.
What do you see? A diverse group of people ready to make change.
But still, we find ways to overpower that through our hair,
fashion, dialect, music.
Yet there is no recognition given.
Instead, it is stolen,
renamed,
Misused.
whitewashed.
Black women's culture is taken and the history is stripped.
The meaning is removed.
Was once something meaningful and important.
It's now a trend.
The cornrows our ancestors created to lead us to freedom.
It's now known as boxer braids.
We aren't saying you can't braid your hair.
We're just saying call them what they are.
Give black women their recognition.
Don't play it down, it's not a big deal. Because when you said,
It's just a hairstyle.
all you're gonna do is steal.
But you see, you steal, but you don't have to deal with police brutality.
Like being killed in your house, in your sleep.
R.I.P. Breonna T. Or being killed simply for your ethnicity.
R.I.P. 30,800 black women who've been put to rest.
Not by choice.
Without remorse.
But by force.
How long will it take for you to realize that my black skin is inspiring?
My black skin is valid.
My black skin has history.
My black skin is not a threat.
My black skin is an asset.
All we want is to be equal, so we say,
Power to the people.
Black women have to keep their heads up.
Really, young black girls are watching us.
They need to see that there is hope.
Without hope, the world ends with a thug life.
The hate you give little evidence messes up everybody.
So we come up with titles like Black Girl Magic,
Black Queen.
Strong black women.
and we keep this in mind because we know
Our current situation
Will not be our final destination. Society will not define us.
We laugh in the faces of South North because we know, from our hair to our hips to our fashion to our dialect,
Our black is beautiful.
When we look in the mirror, our souls cry out.
Our black is beautiful.
we'll say it loud and proud.
Our black is beautiful.
whether intimidated, copied, or reused,
Our black is beautiful. Whatever the case may be.
Our skin will forever and always be beautiful.
Every voice I see, till earth I hear.